All right, I'm back again. So I'll be reading the citation for the honorary degree, and I'm honored to be reading this citation today. The highest distinction the Senate of a university can confirm upon an individual is an honorary doctorate. At the University of Manitoba, the criteria including distinguished achievement in scholarship, the arts, or public service. Our honorary graduate this morning is Dr. Sher. Dr. Sher is a healthcare visionary. Under his innovative leadership, Canadian Blood Services has developed into an organization that is internationally respected for its safe, reliable management of blood products, and stem cell therapies, as well as organ donation and transplantation. Dr. Sher's exceptional ability to inspire and implement organizational change and system improvement has made a significant impact on patient care across Canada. Dr. Sher earned his medical degree and PhD in his home country of South Africa before immigrating to Canada in 1990. He completed a residency and fellowship in hematology and transfusion medicine at the University of Toronto and started his career as a professor and hospital physician. When the national nonprofit Canadian Blood Services was established in 1998, following the Krever Inquiry into Canada's tainted blood scandal, Dr. Sher became its first Vice President of Medical, Scientific, and Clinical Management. He was appointed to his current role as Chief Executive Officer in 2001. His first priority was rebuilding Canada's trust in the blood supply by implementing rigorous, safe, and testing systems. He then led the transformation of Canadian Blood Services into a state-of-the-art manufacturer of biologic products, including plasma and stem cells, with a core focus on safety, quality, innovation, and productivity. He has consistently emphasized stakeholder engagement in decision-making. Under his strategic management, the organization assumed responsibility in 2008 for the national system of organ and tissue donation and transplantation. This included creating the Canadian Transplant Registry, which facilitates interprovincial organ sharing. In 2013, Dr. Sher led the establishment of Canadian Blood Services National Public Bank for donated umbilical cord blood, a vital source of stem cells for transplantation. Dr. Sher is passionate about designing and managing and transforming healthcare systems according to best business practices, always putting patients' needs first. He sits on several healthcare advisory boards and has consulted for other countries for the transformation of their blood systems. He's a founding member of the Alliance of Blood Operators, a consortium of national blood system operators in North America, Europe, and Australia. His work with this alliance led to the establishment of a risk-based decision-making framework for the global blood sector. Dr. Sher is the former president of the International Association for the Advancement of Blood and Biotherapies, and he's been a tireless advocate for adopting a pan-Canadian focus on health system reform using Canadian Blood Services as a model. In 2015, he was named one of Canada's 50 most powerful physicians by the Canadian Healthcare Network and the Medical Post. And in 2021, he was appointed to the Order of Canada for his contributions to public health and for being instrumental in the development of Canada's national blood system. Dr. Sher is also an accomplished adventure photographer who enjoys hanging out of helicopters to get the best aerial view, something I told him I would not be doing. In 2013, he led a climb of Mount Kilimanjaro and that raised more than $600,000 for the National Umbilical Cord Blood Bank. Madam Chancellor, it's an honor for me to ask on behalf of the Senate of the University of Manitoba that you confer upon Dr. Sher the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, and for his leadership of Canada's world-class system for transfusion and transplantation, which plays an essential role in Canadians' access to high-quality health care.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor of this university, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges thereto appertaining.
Chancellor Mann, in his absence, President Benarosh, Dean Nickerson, members of the Board of Governors, graduates, and guests. It is a true privilege to stand before you today to receive this honor and to address the class of 2024. When considering what meaningful message I could share with you at the commencement of your careers, two pivotal themes stand out from my own personal and professional experiences that I hope will resonate: uncertainty and complexity. These concepts have been consistently present throughout my career, and my growing comfort at facing them head-on and embracing them fully has contributed significantly to the successes I've been fortunate to achieve. In sharing anecdotes from my winding career path, I hope to show how your professional development can thrive by seizing opportunities in which uncertainty abounds. The essence of your future creativity and innovation hinges on your capacity to crack complexity. Engaging deeply with these concepts will, I believe, enhance your capabilities as physicians and strengthen your impact as future leaders. So listen up and take from my narrative that which may motivate you. My journey in medicine began with the conviction of my mother's aspirations. A woman with a huge heart and no formal education, she imagined me as a physician who would cure cancer. I know she was not the first and will likely not be the last mother to hold that aspiration. Oncology, not surprisingly, became my initial calling. My early academic endeavors, however, were soon redirected by faculty mentors who persuaded me that the most pressing scientific question of the day was the neurophysiology of pain. Professors must know best, I thought, better than mothers, and oncology soon gave way to a newfound certainty: neurology. Even that was short-lived. In my final year of medical school, I encountered a young patient, RK, whose story profoundly altered the course of my life. Each of you will likely meet your own RK, but I was not prepared for how impactful this experience would be on my career. RK's parents were children survivors of the Holocaust. As adults, they faced a new challenge when RK was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia at age 16. At that time, the only known cure was a bone marrow transplant from a matched sibling. RK had one brother, who fortunately was a perfect match. The family had hope. But this was shattered when, the day before the scheduled transplant, her brother was killed in a motor vehicle accident. Left without a matched donor, RK relapsed and died 6 months later. Having experienced horrendous childhood trauma, these parents now had lost both their children. This encounter, and importantly their incredible humanity in its aftermath, deeply affected me. Neurology gave way to hematology, and I inched back towards my mother's dream, helping cure cancer. Faced with making my early career choices amidst the injustices of apartheid South Africa, I felt compelled to emigrate, choosing Canada as my new home. There, my residency training began. Uncomfortable with disappointing my mother, but listening to my own heart, I developed a passion for the benign side of the specialty, treating inherited blood disorders and focusing on the science of transfusion medicine. My career path was, I thought, finally, linear and clear. I would neither cure cancer nor discover new pain therapies, but I would make a bloody difference. The 1980s and 90s marked the era of the tainted blood scandal in Canada, the largest public health crisis in our nation's history. More than 1,200 Canadians contracted HIV, and over 30,000 acquired hepatitis C through infected blood products. The magnitude of the failure reverberated across Canadian society for years. Embarking on a career in transfusion medicine during this troubled period might seem to be unwise or indeed inopportune. It was a time filled with seemingly intractable challenges. Given my specialty, I was often invited to speak about blood safety and the appropriateness of transfusion therapy. And at one such meeting, I was approached by a recruiter wanting to talk about the new national agency that was being created to restore the blood system in Canada. I faced yet another career dilemma. How did my clinical and research training adequately qualify me for an administrative role in this new entity that was being entrusted to overcome the colossal failure of the past? Like Dean Nickerson, I too felt I had imposter syndrome. But by then, I increasingly recognized that along with uncertainty and complexity come opportunities, and I found myself being pulled in, eager to tackle them. Rarely is one afforded the opportunity to build a health system from the ground up, to make a difference not only at an individual patient level, but at a systems level. I felt a calling for public service, certain I could contribute in a different way. Following the mantra, "Comfortable is not where the action is," I changed course once again and joined Canadian Blood Services. When I shared this decision with my beloved mother, she fell silent. She had always envisaged me curing cancer and struggled to grasp my latest career shift. She may have questioned my wisdom, but never was her support in doubt. Launching into this next chapter, I had little idea how tumultuous the path forward would be. It felt like we were in a cesspool, marked by intense public scrutiny at every turn. We stood at the crossroads of legacy and evolution, a failed past and the promise of a stable future. Trust in the blood system had completely eroded. The evidence to guide our transformation was poorly defined. Patients and clinicians were terrified, and there was absolutely no margin for error. We determinedly embraced the uncertainty and navigated the complexity confronting us, recognizing time and again, even today, that they are not our enemy, but rather catalysts that fuel our relentless drive for innovation and improvement. Collaborating with courageous, wise, and committed partners, we embarked on a mission to transform Canada's blood system. Lessons from past mistakes were learned. We made bold decisions, taking evidence-informed risks, with patient safety always at the forefront. We charted fresh territory, focused single-mindedly on our mandate of restoring the trust, confidence, and commitments of Canadians. Change began to take hold. The Canadian blood system evolved from a state of crisis to become a global leader in policy development, service delivery, innovation, and risk management. And today it stands as a model for much of the rest of our beleaguered health systems in Canada. And here is the crux of my message to you, the graduands. The world of healthcare you are entering is under enormous strain. Aging populations, rising health inequities, an overstretched workforce, the dual promises and threats of artificial intelligence, politics competing with good health policy, unsustainable and rigid funding models. But rather than being intimidated, I urge you to embrace the complex and wade into the uncertain. I know from my own career that they will define and enable your path, not constrain it. They are the crucibles in which your most profound professional insights and innovations will be forged. A word to your parents, partners, and families. Take pride in today's graduates as they begin their honorable profession. Support and steer them as they navigate their unpredictable futures. I owe much to my parents, colleagues, mentors, and patients like RK, all of whom guided me along my path. One other person has navigated every twist and turn in my non-linear career, has listened to and counseled me in periods of ambiguity and turbulence, and has been there as my story has unfolded, chapter by chapter. To my wife, closest friend, and true confidant, Erica, thank you for everything. So, graduands, as you leave these halls and enter the halls of hospitals, clinics, and research institutes, know that two concepts will define and influence your careers. Learn to grasp them and to master them, as I had to and as I still do today. Uncertainty and complexity are not barriers, but your gateways to creativity, innovation, and deep, impactful service in healthcare. my parting words to you. Listen to your families, but follow your hearts. Heed the advice of mentors, but keep yourself open to all opportunities, especially the most unexpected. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and go where uncertainty and complexity abound, for that is how you'll make a difference. I leave you with the words of the French philosopher Voltaire. Uncertainty may be an uncomfortable position, but certainty is an absurd one. Congratulations to each of you, and thank you very much.